This is super exciting because you've had dry-aged steaks, you've had dry-aged burgers, you might have had a dry-aged pork chop. You're not getting dry-aged pork shoulder anywhere else. I've never seen this before.
We're here at Don Don, a pork-centric Korean barbecue spot in Midtown Manhattan. To me, Korean barbecue is the ultimate dining experience. Fun, traditional, unpretentious, and you get to drink with friends.
Grandma, why are you making blood sausage again?
Yeah.
Don Don is the passion project of Michelin-starred chef Sungchul Shim. Here, Chef Sun and his team are reimagining Korean barbecue, combining their expertise of fine dining tasting menus with their extensive dry aging program. They are expanding the boundaries of what Korean barbecue can be. Today I'll be learning the Korean method of pig butchery, getting my hands dirty, and finding cuts of pork that even I didn't know existed.
I've cut this muscle 1,000 times and thrown it into sausage every single time.
Yeah.
I've never tried it on its own.
We'll also be making Korean blood sausage, and of course, stuffing my face with as much meat as possible.
We're making capicola. You're making capicola. There you go.
I'm Brent, and this is Brent Meets World. The day begins by butchering a pig. During this breakdown, Chef isolates specific pork cuts, most of which you do not see in American-style butchery. Some cuts get designated to the traditional barbecue menu, some to the chef's special tasting menu, and some go to the in-house dry aging program.
So this pork hanger, you have this on your menu.
Yes, yeah, it's on our menu. Because all the pork belly we order, it has this part. So we save all this cut, we trim it, and then we let it dry like 1 or 2 days. Has a nice texture. So this one has kidney. So we're using this kidney for the blood sausage. Next, he's gonna trim the tenderloin,
Yep.
and then we're using for the tasting menu.
The major difference is that you're doing it by hand. Like we've gotten everything hammered down, so it's just saw. We have a bandsaw. Throw it through the saw.
We don't have a saw.
Now this is fun. At the meat hook, we'll just take the shoulders off.
Yeah.
Boston butt, picnic. That's it. Done.
Yes.
Okay. Pork chops, and then the belly turns into bacon. That's it.
That's the American way.
That's the American way.
Yeah.
4 cuts.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're going into far more detail
Yes.
than we are.
But this shoulder has a more fun way. We have
Definitely.
a jowl, we have brisket, neck. Also, we have a shank part, the front shank, back hand, and the middle shanks. All different cuts we utilize for the different cuts for barbecue.
What's so fascinating about the Korean butcher style is that they isolate cuts that Americans often discard. Something that we might toss into sausage, they highlight on their tasting menu.
This is how we break beef shoulders, but I've never done it on a pig. It makes a lot of sense to do this with a pig if you're trying to isolate this one muscle, which is ideal. It's the best muscle on the entire pig.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to portion this Coppa.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, like, we're probably cutting steaks out of it, but all right, no, you have a different approach.
In a Korean typical barbecue setting, this is gold. This is not.
Is this your favorite?
This is everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone wants this. Nobody really wants this.
Are you kidding me?
Just because how we're preparing it.
A defining feature of the Don Don experience is their carefully crafted dry aging process. Although dry aging pork is less common than beef, Don Don has centered their program around their most popular cut, pork belly. They often have 70 to 100 bellies dry aging at a single time.
Why specifically are you so heavy on dry aging pork belly? Why is that the cut?
Well, it sells and people are looking for this.
Do you think that the belly really does get that much better with dry age?
It really locks in the flavor by drawing out the moisture, and you can really feel it in the meat.
But today we'll be cutting this guy up and serving it to our guests. This is actually 30-day aged of the same loin.
So these are the guys that we just dry aged and just pulled out. And this is a pork collar. This one has been inside for 21 days. This one tends to be meatier, so we like to do like a full month for it.
I feel like when people think of dry age, they're like, oh, it's huge umami, blue cheese, it's funky. Like,
we're not really going for that funk.
Yeah.
It looks really beautiful inside just because all the age, really you can feel it in here. Bottom part here is actually part of the belly. This is just the pork loin.
This is super exciting because you've had dry aged steaks, you've had dry aged burgers, you might have had a dry aged pork chop. You're not getting dry aged pork shoulder anywhere else. I've never seen this before.
With most of the butchery now behind us, we start prepping the head cheese that will go towards the hot pot fish. Once the pig heads have been cooked, Chef will then begin to shred them apart, separating the meat from the bones, the brains from the skull, the eyes from the socket, so on and so forth. Chef will then sort through everything, pulling out any unwanted cartilage or bone. Combine it into one pan so that it can set in a homogenized form. It cools overnight, gets portioned out, and ready to serve.
All right, so this is all the ingredients that go inside the blood sausage. So we'll start with the ground pork.
Great.
Put in some pinches of salt, pepper. We're getting some ginger in there for kind of really get rid of that blood stench. Korean scallion.
Jalapenos.
Jalapenos, we like it spicy. Korean chives.
Soybean paste.
The Korean blood sausage tends to be a little more vegetal.
Wow, this smells fantastic. I think blood can be off-putting
It
to
can be, yeah.
to many people, but like getting them over that hump of the idea that it's blood,
Yeah.
you can do it with just a couple simple ingredients. Blood sausage isn't super popular in the United States. Like, why do you think it's popular everywhere else but here?
I think it's just other cultures, you grow up eating it.
Sure. Do you remember eating it as a kid? Yeah. Oh yeah.
I do, I really do. It was very weird to me as a child. Just
But like good weird or bad weird?
my grandma used to make this at home.
Okay.
And just looking at it, I was like,
You're
I
like,
really
Grandma.
I don't want to eat that.
Grandma, why are you making blood sausage again?
Yeah.
So is this something you would actually eat every day?
This is like a BLT. 7-Eleven in Korea has blood sausage.
I'm gonna stop by, grab a Gatorade, a couple
Yeah.
beers, and a blood sausage?
You can.
Hell yeah. Yes.
You'd be surprised what they sell in 7-Eleven in Korea.
As I add 7-Eleven blood sausage to my must-try list for Korea, our focus shifts to casing this sausage, portioning it generously because these are meant to be shared.
So next step, an important step with any blood sausage, you gotta let it set up.
Yeah, we
So
gotta set
we're gonna poach it,
Yep.
and then for service.
We will steam.
Oh, okay, cool.
So one of the very specific cuts that we took out from the whole pig today is this. This is just a hanger that comes out of half a pig. You'll be the lucky one to have it today.
How do you run a restaurant with this?
Well, that's why we have a tasting menu.
There you go. There you go.
Right.
I've cut this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Never had it. I'm so excited.
All right, so for our pork tasting tonight, we'll start with pork belly, and then we'll move on into this pork loin that has the belly attached. And then we'll start to move into the little fattier cuts like the pork jowl as well as the Iberico. We always like to have the pork collar towards the end because that's what we believe to be the creme de creme of what we have to offer here. Do a little hanger just for create like a textural difference between the fatty cuts, and then we'll always finish with marinated.
Kind of slowly getting more and more and more flavorful.
More and more in flavor, and we'll introduce some different banchan here and there to really kind of complement everything together.
Well, I'm excited. Let's eat.
All right, let's do it.
The unsung hero of Korean barbecue is the banchan, and at Don Don, it's exponentially better than your average Korean barbecue restaurant. This is where Chef really flexes his Michelin-star skill in the most humble way possible.
All right, so I ordered the blood sausage and the hot pot with the head cheese. This is just the appetizer. We still have the whole pork tasting menu to come. So I'm gonna start with the blood sausage. That tastes like a garden. You really taste the jalapeno, the ginger, all the different vegetables. Very little blood taste for a blood sausage. That's freaking delicious. Super light. I could eat this whole thing. Best part about head cheese is you get a lot of different textures, and I love textures in my food. You get little crunchy bits, super porky, nice and gelatinous, and just delicious. Appetizers are over, so now it's time to start the pork tasting. All right, next we have the dry aged pork Coppa. That is Everything you could ever want a pork chop to be and more. It's tender, fatty, great texture to it. The whole thing is just, it's the perfect bite. So hanger is kind of known for its scarcity. There's only one on the animal. This is actually hanger slash skirt from the way that it's being butchered. I've never had it before, and I'm super excited to try it. Every day's a freaking school day. That's amazing. That actually does have the same consistency as a beef hanger steak. That's phenomenal. I said it before in the video. I've cut 100 of these. I've never actually tried one. This is phenomenal and super underutilized. All right, jowl's up. Never had a grilled pork jowl before. You're gonna find it shocking to believe that this fatty grilled pork is super delicious. We have our 30-day dry-aged pork belly, and we have our dry-aged pork loin as well. Onto the belly. Interesting. In order to get pork belly to have that texture, you have to cure it, which means imparting salt and sugar onto the muscle for 7-10 days. So most really good pork belly that you have is super salty and sweet. This doesn't have that, but because it's dry aged, it has that bacon consistency. So we can throw Banchan on top of it. We'll go shishito. All of the salt and all of the sweetness that you might get from a bacon comes through with this grilled pickle. It's absolutely fantastic. On its own, I'd say, okay, it's good pork belly. With the Banchan, 10 out of 10. Last but not least, our dry-aged pork chop. I'll tell you right now, this bite at the bottom of the loin where we're meeting our belly, that is my bite. That's what I always go to first. Again, the dry age really pays off. You're just getting super concentrated, delicious porky flavor. It's as simple as that.
So here are my tips.
When you come to Don Don Barbecue, try the thing you haven't had before. Trust the chefs. Do not skip out on the Banchan. Ask your server, talk to the chef, like see what the different combinations are. Like come with a bunch of friends, eat as much as you can because all of the different things that we've tried have all been amazing. Don't skip on the beer and enjoy. Hey everyone.